Welcome to another episode of Commercial Property Roadshow. And even though I'm in lockdown in Sydney, we still have a team in Brisbane and Queensland, so everything keeps going even in this hot market. And what I want to show you today is a property that's dual tenancy in Sumner and Queensland. Now, Sumner is an interesting area that is still gentrifying, which means, you know, the area is getting fancier. One of the interesting things is it's a combination of an industrial area that is gentrifying and turning into more your light industrial, which means that the land value is starting to go up. We've got residential around that area, which has actually received double-digit growth in the last 12 months or so. So it's a real area that's coming of age, and an area that what we're seeing is more and more people coming to the area. We're going to have more professional trades in there. The value of the property is going to go up because the land value is going to go up, and then of course rents are going to go up, and therefore on flows the value of your commercial property will go up as well. Now, this property is unique, and what I love about this property is that it's dual tenancy on one land, of course, but it's front and back. But one of the interesting things is, if you notice, the tenant at the back, which should be paying a lesser rent, is actually paying more rent than the tenant at the front, who has major exposure, who needs that exposure. Then you know that there is scope to increase the rent in the future for the tenant at the front, and that you are going to be able to pick up some extra additional income in the back end in the future with this property as well. So come, let's have a look. And I can show you my teams and what they look for when they do a virtual inspection.
Okay, 30 Spine Street, and this is the beautiful gardens outside, beautifully kept. You want to see the outside first or the inside?
Might as well see outside first while you're outside.
Okay, okay. This is just
Spine Street, which just have a look at Spine Street. Spine Street's the main street of Sumner, which is always sought after. That's why you've got a lot of sort of retail warehouse users in Spine Street. And that's why Gangster Rap, who are in Unit 1, that's why it's their preferred position there, because they get the exposure for their business. Go.
I took a video earlier of the environment. I will send it through in my report.
All right, thank you.
Shall we move inside now?
Sure.
As you can see, it's a very, very busy street.
So Gangster Raps, they do vinyl wrapping of cars. A lot of sort of high-end cars as well.
There's just a little bit of a crack in the concrete, but otherwise clean. Outside is looking nice. Good morning. Beautifully. Sit up here.
Just slow down a little bit, Marilyn, when you
Okay.
you haven't got the world's best phone connection.
The ceilings is in a good state.
Yeah.
Aircon's looking good. Flooring beautiful.
Are you guys together? Just that, all right. How you doing? I'm good. I'm late. Hey, Lee, what's up?
Going through to the workshop.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, it's a very busy place.
Yeah. You're right, it's a workshop.
There's just one broken tile here.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Yes.
And there's the little kitchen just next to the door.
Yep. That might need work.
Does the light turn on?
It doesn't matter, they're $100.
Okay.
We're not interested in a cracked tile and a light. I mean,
$50 each, right? We want, we want to make sure the roof's not leaking, and we want to make sure that hasn't caused all, there's not cracks in the building. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Every one of these you do, there's always going to be a little something that's damaged or broken. That's, if you assume that every building's got $1,000 worth of little bits and pieces to go, well, in the grand scheme of things, it's irrelevant.
What's on the top of that?
It's just a space above the roof where they store crap, I guess.
Is that where they store that up?
Is that the mezzanine they're talking about?
Pardon?
Is that the mezzanine they were talking about?
No, it's not. This would have been installed by the actual tenant. So that's creating, they just put light storage for the vinyl upstairs. But they created this for a dust-free environment for the vinyl wrap. I'll show you.
We're going out with mezzanine. And there's offices upstairs. There are offices upstairs. We're going to the offices now. The stairs is in good condition. Yep. It's the office.
This actually is part of the printing.
This is where they do all the printing.
Yep.
What's that?
There's a little bit of damage because of the heat of the machine.
Heat of what machine?
The printing machine.
The printing machine.
Printers don't get that hot.
I don't know. That's what they want to know. You did say the previous time it is because of the heat from the machine?
Yes, I'm not sure why that is, to be honest.
I'm sorry, I don't believe that. It's just a colour printer.
I cannot give you more information like that. Doesn't seem to be a water leak or anything.
No.
Just looks like it's been done poorly and it just hasn't been quite held up properly, but I don't believe it's a heat problem.
This is the rest of the ceiling.
Yep.
Who was that? Was that construction part of the original construction, or just added there by the tenant, or?
This would have been. This would when the tenant vacates, this will remain. They wouldn't have to remove.
They want to know whether it was part of the original building or did the tenant install this?
No, the tenant hasn't installed this. No.
So it was part of the building.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
And then there's just another small office here. The manager's office.
Yep. How old's the building, Marilyn?
How old is the building?
I'm guessing, but I would say it would be. I'd say it was probably built in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's what I would have said.
That looks okay. Yeah.
The carpet is weird.
That'd just be fit out, but is that a bed there?
Pardon?
Is that
a bed for a dog, it seems.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I don't think it's the manager's bed. But perhaps the dog is the manager and the manager. He's the CEO. There's a toy for the dog as well.
Okay.
Are we going down? Okay.
Yeah, Marilyn, on the way down, have a look at those steel beams. Does there appear to be any rust on them?
On the what?
The red beams.
Red steel beams. The ones that hold the roof up.
No, on the ceiling.
Oh, over there.
Yeah.
They appear to be rusty at all?
If you just go a bit closer.
Can't hear you. Right. But does that appear, from what you can see, does it appear rusty?
I don't. They asked whether that is rusty, but I don't think it's rusty. The beams.
No, it's not up there.
No. Yeah, well, that's the sort of stuff that I'm really worried about. And any rust marks underneath the roof sheets. Can you see any rust in the roof?
No. No, I cannot see any rust in the roof on the inside.
All right.
We've managed the property for the last 3 years, and we've never had one roof leak at all.
All right, excellent.
Okay.
As you can see, there's, and if you get onto near maps as well, you can look down. You'll see there's no rust or anything on the roof right there.
We're going out to the next tenancy.
We might be able to hear that.
Yeah, the noise is a bit better now. I couldn't really hear. This is the driveway.
But the good thing with both tenancies, they've got multiple roller doors, which is always very important.
Yep.
The other unique thing about this property is it's actually strata title. So it's got a body corporate, which is inactive because it's owned by the same people. But if you ever want the flexibility, if you ever want to sell the front or the back, you can actually sell them, which for a freestanding property like this is very unique.
Yep, makes sense.
This is still the first tenancy's roller door. We're going to the second tenant now. There's a few cracks in the spot hole in the driveway.
All right.
The roller door's dented.
Sorry, go back 1 sec. Was there a crack near the door?
Yes.
Oh, can you look down just a bit more with the camera?
Like that? Can you see?
Okay.
I think there's one at the other door as well.
And is that rusty or is it just painted there?
It's just paint. No, it's not. No, there are no rust.
No rust? Okay. Yeah.
You want me to show the other one as well?
Yes, please.
That's only a little bit of step cracking. That one I'm not worried about.
Yeah, look, as long as the steel underneath it's all right, it's still there.
Remember the rule about cracking.
This is the same with this door. This is the second roller door of the first tenancy.
Can you look down just a bit more?
We're just going to around the bolt from this side.
That's it.
Okay.
No cracks. Further cracks.
Right.
So we're going back to the second tenancy.
Mm-hmm.
Just the gutters, the outside. Is it high enough? Can you see?
Yeah, want to take a look at the house? What type of? I've got a skip truck. I'll show you when I get it in. It's
this side is the same. The door.
it's not going to work if it's individually.
You can see this on this side, and it seems to be all the roller doors have this problem.
Okay.
And the second door. Okay, are we going inside now?
Yeah.
This is that mezzanine we're talking about.
All right.
Can you hear
Well,
me?
that kind of looks a bit like it was being done by the apprentice at lunchtime.
So it's, as I said to Helen, that's something you could either leave up there. Obviously, people can use it. Personally, it wouldn't cost much to remove. I'd probably remove it to create more of a clear span warehouse going forward. But I'd only do that obviously when the tenants vacate one day.
Sure.
Just want to look at the beams.
Again, Marilyn, we're just trying to work out if there's any rust on them.
No, there's no rust. That's just the original colour of the
There's
beam.
a little, isn't that a little bit of rust?
No, there's no rust there.
But little,
All right. Again, in the grand scheme of things, if there is a little bit, it's a tiny bit. And we're not.
yes, no, it's a tiny bit, that one, if it is, because it's so high, the rest is in a good condition.
All right.
There's a little,
pretty good.
there's a little office space just close to the one roller door.
Yep.
Mezzanine. Is that where they're having lunch? I assume.
Yeah. Plus the kitchen area there.
There's a kitchen area and amenities.
Yep. Done with all the finesse of a true workshop.
Okay. Shall we move to the outside, the back of this?
Yep.
Is that the end of the tenant?
Yeah.
So there's two tenants in that building, right?
Two tenants, yes. I'm going to turn around that you can see the mezzanine from this side.
Yeah.
The size
Once
of...
again, really good clear span sort of warehouse and the good thing with this tenancy at the back, it's got a lot of yard area as well, which for industrial is always important. And the 3 roller doors as well.
Yep.
The floor is in quite good condition, just this small crack here.
That's right.
And this is the backyard.
All right.
Quite a lot of space.
That's the yard there, right?
That's correct.
That's pretty good.
So as you can see, they've got a lot of area up here, which they fully utilise. Safety and Metals, they supply a lot of fencing and so forth to Bunnings.
Yep.
Contracts with them. They're a national company.
All right. Looks good.
Anything else you want to see?
No, I think that's it.
Is that a temporary shed at the back there? Is that?
No, it looks like part of it.
Yeah, so this area here, this isn't included in the size. I mean, the tenant has actually even said they may want to remove this. Only because it'll give them more access and create a larger yard area. Which we've said if they wanted to, we have no issue with it, but that'll be up to you, of course.
Yeah.
As for me, I mean, they're sort of using it, which is a good sort of undercover area. But I think if you actually removed it going forward, it'd be better. It's a bit like removing that mezzanine as well. You just create an open plan clear span warehouse with a bigger yard area, which is always in more demand for industrial.
Right. Excellent.
Anything else you want to see?
Not for me. I think that it's an older building, but it's in, pretty good shape.
It's in a pretty good condition. Yes, it is in a pretty good condition, and the concrete has a little bit of a crack here and there, just that one area. But inside, it is really well kept, and the first tenancy is in pristine shape.
The key for me is it's a freestanding with a low site coverage. It's in a great position, being in Spine Street in Sumner, which is always sought after. And just that added advantage, if you ever did want to sell the front or the rear, you can.
Excellent.
And I always, you've also got potential that someone could want to lease the whole lot as well.
Good. All right, Vince, any more questions?
No, I've got no questions anymore. It gives me a good, gives me some context and tangibility to it all. That's all.
Yeah. All right, perfect.
Okay. We're done?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you.
So hopefully you've enjoyed that and that you found that really, really helpful for you to understand what we look for when we look at a warehouse property. Of course, with different properties, we're looking at different things. Later on this afternoon, we'll be going through a funeral parlour, and then later on after that, we're actually looking at a mixed tenancy. So we go through lots and lots of different properties, and one of the things that changes is the things to pay attention to. So while we pay attention to mezzanine floors, and we got that measured up by the agent, and we've sent that to the town planner to see what the approval and compliance on that is, and in Queensland a lot of that is not compliant or approved. But if you're in a complex and people are not complaining about it, then it doesn't really affect you. But also, one of the things that's interesting is it's non-compliant because your tenant's in there using it, but the moment your tenant leaves, it becomes compliant because the property is vacant and therefore it's not being used, so therefore it becomes compliant. So it's quite interesting how the difference are. But of course, if you are a vendor, you may want to make it compliant because it adds value to your property as well. So we're going to get that assessed, but that's just one area we'll look at with warehouses. Of course, if we're looking at a property that is not a warehouse property, we're actually looking at something totally different. So grease trap servicing, or we're looking at access ways, if we're looking at other dual tenancies, or when we're looking at mixture and mixed tenancies, we're looking at how each tenant affects the other. And when we're doing the inspection, we're obviously looking at something totally different. Now, so moving forward, obviously, if this is something you're looking for, or more importantly, I think with commercial properties, to look at the strategy behind it. Why buy this one as opposed to the one next door, as opposed to one 3 streets away? So if you're looking for that, and you're looking for someone who's not transactional but looking to build a portfolio and really truly understand what you're about, check me out, helentarrant.com, or email me at helen@commercialpropertycashflow.com.au, and I'll help you build your portfolio. Bye for now.